Hi everybody, welcome back to those who've been hanging with me some time, and welcome to those of you who are new to my channel. I'm AdelaLavine, intuitive and medium. Alright, today we are going to talk about cemeteries. Well, we're going to talk about practicing our spirit communication in cemeteries. Before I get started, a couple announcements real quick. I'm still offering 50% off of my readings because of the expensive gas, but I've changed the code to 50. 50% off of all my readings with the code 50. Just go to my website. I've been posting a lot on TikTok, so follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, and follow me and subscribe here. That would be awesome. I did this on my Patreon, and if you haven't joined my Patreon, you can join my Patreon. It's $5 to join and to become a member, and you get all the extra content. And on my Patreon a while back, I did a thing where I filmed myself in the cemetery. And by the way, I'm going to be doing another one because the last one I did not have a mic. Pause for... So I didn't have a mic and nobody could really hear me very well, but I did have a lot of great content showing me practicing in the cemetery, what I'm going to talk to you about today. I'm going to do another video where I show like how you can practice spirit communication in the cemetery. And this is a great way to practice at home. And if you can make it to a cemetery, obviously, but if you can't make it to a cemetery, then I guess you could look at a picture of a cemetery. No, I'm lying. That was a joke. You have to do this in a cemetery. So first, let me talk about how you can do this, and let me talk you through it. And if you want, and you're already a Patreon, then go ahead and watch this video that I'm going to be posting over there. But if not, then obviously you have this to go by. When you go to a cemetery and you want to practice spirit communication, then you walk into the cemetery first. You know, when you drive in or walk in, go towards what you feel drawn towards. Now, here's a little background that I want to explain about cemeteries. People tend to think that there is so much more activity in a cemetery, meaning like spirits are active more in cemeteries than anywhere else, or they're spooky. Of course, they are kind of spooky. That's true. For me, I feel like it's very welcoming and inviting. Yes, I know that's strange, but I feel like people have this, idea that this is where the spirits are. This is where they're all hanging out. This is the only place, you really can catch a glimpse besides, quote, haunted places. However, the truth is about cemeteries is that the reason why spirits are willing, or you're able to see them more and experiencing them more, and the activity is a little bit higher than normal, is because people treat cemeteries like this is the only place they're going to be open to and listen to. In other words, the spirit world is all around us. And I've told you guys this many, many times. It's a world within a world. But we tend to believe this is the one and only place that people are, really, truly able to, see activity and feel things. Meaning like it's a hot spot. And the only reason why it's a hot spot is because when you go to a cemetery, you are open to communicating. And same with others. So it's a place where everyone's kind of agreeing we're going to be open to listen and communicate to those who have died. And so the spirit world is like, yes, finally, they all want to talk. They always want to talk, but they're very excited that you are opening yourself and willing to talk to them, that you're willing to listen to them. So of course, the energy, the vibration, and the activity, kind of amps up. However, other spirits that have nothing to do with you, meaning not your friends or your family, people from everywhere kind of go, hey, in this one place, people listen to us. And that lady's, opening herself up to talk to someone she wants to talk to, maybe all like, try to grab her attention. And that's why sometimes it's hard to tell, like, who is really talking to you? Are they giving you the information correct? And this is what I always try to tell you, period, that confirmation is key. So I've come up with another term for this. And when we talk about trickster spirits, this is what I'm referring to. Trickster spirits are spirits that are pretending that they are the spirit of the person you're hoping them to be. So kind of look at it like catfishing. That's the new way I want to explain it. It's like catfishing you. And if a spirit is catfishing you, then you need confirmation. So this is one way you can practice. So you go into the cemetery and you get a vibe, right? You see where you feel pulled towards. Instead of like going, I'm going to go here, I already know I'm going to go there, you kind of let it guide you. So you go to an area that you feel drawn towards. Now here's a little tip. Maybe go to an area that is kind of older, like graves, meaning like maybe people who have passed like 100 years ago or 50 years ago or 30 years ago. There's two reasons I say this. One, you more than likely aren't going to disturb people who are trying to visit their families, literal physical people who are there. So if the older, the grave is, the most unlikely you're going to disturb anyone coming to visit. And two, you kind of put out of your mind like anything modern, meaning like you don't feel like you're kind of like picking up what is around, because when you look at the area, you can see like gifts being left, and it's kind of hints of the modern world that, oh, maybe this is why I picked up on this, because they had this around their grave or something like that. But mostly I really, really feel like it's usually not as active, like people aren't like driving up, because you really, really, really got to be respectful. So that's the second thing I want to say. Second rule and tip is be respectful. Be very respectful when you're doing this. I know people like to go and they hang out, and I've seen people do picnics, and that's fine if that's what you want to do. But for me, myself, I understand people are grieving, people are mourning. So I'm not trying to like, even when I go film there, I'm not like, hey guys, what's going on? I'm at the cemetery and someone in the background is grieving. That's why I try to go to an older location so that I can not disturb anyone. Respectful. Thirdly, be respectful to the people who have passed, not just to the people living, visiting, but be respectful to people who have passed. Meaning when you're walking around the cemetery, kind of have an energy of respect. Now, once you're there and you're in your area and you see the area that you are drawn to and you've picked it and you've done all the things that I just suggest to you to do, then stand at a distance and look at all of the graves from a distance. Now, if you want to bring a pen and paper, feel free to do that. If you want to be able to take notes, because maybe you're not going to remember, that's totally fine. So when you are standing at a distance, pick a grave that you feel drawn towards. Like look and see like, okay, which one am I drawn towards? Okay, it's the third one to the left, that kind of thing. And the one you feel drawn towards, see what you see in your mind's eye. If you're someone who sees something not in your mind's eye, great. If you're a person who sees something like actually in front of you, great for you. But most of the time we're seeing it in a telepathic way. See what you see and what you feel. So if you are someone who feels, because these are all the senses, if you're someone who smells, tastes, these are all the senses you may get information or sees. Whatever you're getting, write it down if you feel like you need to and you're not going to remember. So you may say, oh, I feel like it's a male that is like older. You may feel like, oh, I feel like it's a female. I see crying, something like that, and write it down. Then once you have all the information, walk over to the grave and read it and see. Well, so let's say you felt like you saw a male crying. Sometimes you may see the echo. You may actually see the spirit of the tombstone, but you actually may also see the echo. What do I mean by that? Is the echo of the person may be the person who visited. So it may be more of a psychic thing where you're seeing the person who came to visit the person who passed. That can happen. So don't think you're wrong if you're like, oh, there's a woman, she's crying about her husband, she's upset, and you look and you see that it was a man who passed, and then there's like a blank thing underneath it, and you're like, whoa, that looks like that could be reserved for his partner, his wife or something. So that's the two type of things that might happen. You will see the person who has passed, and you may even see the echo of the person who's visited. However, you will get information. You don't have to get the whole backstory. Do not, and here's the next tip, do not get the backstory. Don't worry about trying to fill in the story, because you're not gonna be able to confirm that. Like, you may or may not get little tidbits. So like maybe you say something, you see something like, oh, looks like they were in war or something, and there's something about it on the tombstone. Or this happens to me a lot. Oh, I see, this man, and he's, his daughter's upset, and then you look and say, beloved father, that kind of thing. So make sure that you're not trying to fill in, and then this happened, and this is how they were killed, and this is how they died. You don't need to do that, because now you're filling it in and you have no way to confirm it. This is to practice to confirm. Confirmation, if I can't stress it enough, is key when you are trying to learn to spirit communicate. You need the confirmation. Okay, hold on, let me take a sip from my makeup pint. Confirmation is completely key. So getting confirmation is the whole point of this exercise. So when you are just like running rampant to the whole story and you're like, I totally know that's what happened. Okay, that's true. You may have like a strong feeling, but even I don't do that, because I don't want to like run away with something I can't confirm. And this is a way to practice spirit communication in a cemetery. And you can do this at night if you dare. No, I'm just kidding. You can do this at night, or you could do it in the day, any time of day that suits you. And you can film it even if you want to kind of like take a record for it for yourself. But I wouldn't film it to show off to people until you've practiced. Meaning, like, don't film to go, look what I can do. Again, be reverent, like until like, hey, I've done this a few times, I feel like I'm getting familiar. Maybe you want to show some people and share what you've been practicing. Okay, but remember, be respectful. And here's why. Lastly, I want to say, because that realm will let you know, meaning like you will feel it. You will feel like, okay, there's something around me, meaning like they're not loving the fact that I'm being disrespectful. And mostly because I feel responsible, if I'm going to teach you something with this and share something like this, that I am very protective of that realm and respecting that these are people who died. These are people who lost someone. It's not, something to be taken lightly. So that means maybe don't film someone's picture. Like, people have pictures on the tombstones. And also don't practice with the picture, because even if you see the picture from a distance, you may think, oh, maybe I filled that in. Maybe I saw that and now that's why I think I saw what I saw. So remember, be mindful while you're doing this. I hope this helped. You can go over to my Patreon, and on my Patreon, I'm going to actually show you this. And for those of you who watched before, with sound, with mic, proper mic. And also, I actually recently filmed it the other day, and it was so bright, I couldn't see anything. You couldn't see me. I looked like I was a spirit. So, this one's going to be good, because I'm going to have sound and I'm going to have film, and I'm going to post on my Patreon so you can see me actually doing this. Thank you so much. Follow yourself, follow no one, listen to your inner voice, and I'll see you soon.